Here at Panem 360, we are with Nastasia Y. Nastasia is was born in Ukraine, but she probably grew up in Toronto because she doesn't have any accent. And,
That's correct. I moved when I was 11, so right before I gained the accent. So.
exactly. So welcome at Panem 360, Nastasia. We're happy to have you with us. You're going to perform at the Ministère May 8th at 8 p.m. in the context of the Norte Tropical mini festival. So, you've been in Montreal many times as a performer, but this time is special because it's a small festival, and there are so many proposals from Toronto and the rest of Canada. So not a lot of people know you in Montreal, even maybe a small public, a small audience, but now we're trying to spread it up. So, Nastasia, I listened to your music for a couple of hours, and it's a very interesting blend. There's Slavic folk song, but there's also a lot of pop, soul, R&B, jazzy flavors. So, what would be your own description of your formula?
That is exactly it, and thank you for listening and hearing that, because I actually don't have a description for it, and I'm always looking for one. And what it is my culture, but infused with the beauty of Canada. And I actually think this event on Wednesday at Le Ministère is exactly that. We are going to travel from Ukraine to Chile, and that is exactly what Canada is all about. That is what I learned when I moved here. So when I was 11, I only heard Ukrainian folk songs that my dad sung to me, and whatever was on the radio. But when I moved here and I discovered the vast beauty of different styles, different cultures, so much to learn, so much to explore, kind of, and learn. Almost you don't need a ticket to anywhere in the world living here. So I think my music is a big mix of everything, and it's very hard to explain.
Also, you present yourself as a Ukrainian artist too. It's important to honor your origins, your roots. We know that, well, if we read your bio, your own father was an artist. Is he still alive?
No, so he passed away when after I moved with my mom to Canada. Back home, he passed away in 2008, and the period when that happened is when I decided I need to follow his footsteps. And that is actually when I got back into my own Ukrainian music, because for a long time I was doing English language music. I was doing a lot of R&B, pop. I would play in Bollywood, reggae bands, all kinds of stuff as a sideman. But when this happened, it brought me back to Ukraine, and then everything started happening in Ukraine. The revolution started happening. It all just coincided with me having to tell my story now here in Canada.
So this is your own story that is reflected in your craft. So we have some elements of Ukrainian folk songs and Slavic traditional music, and also a lot of modern pop from North America and Western world.
Exactly, which is not very common. Some of those mixes aren't very common with Ukrainian folk. So it is a little bit niche, and in a lot of the scenes where I either belong or want to belong, Ukrainian folk music is not very common in those scenes. And my goal is to bridge styles that maybe aren't usually bridged together. I find that very interesting. I find that's the future. It's important to hold on to your past but move into the future.
Have you performed in Ukraine recently?
I did a little bit. I actually went there twice, actually, since the invasion. And originally, my goal was to perform. I thought I would go, maybe bring some spirit of song to the people, but everything changes always, and I ended up translating for very, very difficult cases for refugees in Poland. I ended up dealing with family stuff. My grandpa's house was actually hit by a Russian tank at the very beginning, when Kiev was surrounded. And it happened when the Russians were actually retreating. They just shot, and they happened to shoot his neighbor's house, and his windows and doors all got blown out. So that was one of the reasons I went to Ukraine. So there wasn't much time for performing, but I just cannot wait to go back, which I know sounds interesting in this with what's going on, but I'm always drawn there.
I see, I see. Well, it must be heartbreaking for you. Your grandparents are still there, so it's tough.
Yes, yes. And he has no intention of moving. He doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Even when this happened, it was very cold. He only went to his neighbor's house for one day. Even though all the windows and doors were out, that's as much as he can move out. He only wants to be home. Yeah.
I see. So now, the last steps of your craft, I think you performed since at least 10 years, because I saw on your Bandcamp page that you started to release some music 10 years ago, in 2014. Is it right?
That's right. I have been doing this Ukrainian fusion for a long time, and it did really start in 2014. And 2014 was the revolution. So it's when the war actually began. A lot of people think it's been 2 years, but it has been now 9 years. And when the war began, it all started with the people really being so vocal about being done with Russia, and when we thought we won, after months and months on the streets during the revolution, turns out a bigger war has begun, and Crimea was invaded first. And so when all of this was happening is when I was really, really started focusing on Ukrainian fusion music. And it was very niche. It still is. But now, unfortunately, with Ukraine being actually more on the map with the full-scale invasion, people are more interested in Ukrainian music now, I find.
Of course, because of the politics. But at the same time, it's a paradox, because it helps you in a way to be well known in a way. But
and if there's anything positive, it's that the mission is now so much stronger. Before, I always had a mission. I always wanted people to hear these songs, but now I am just so set on really telling our story from the Ukrainian perspective, somebody that was born there, because I think we see it on the news, we see it and we don't understand it. And I think through music, you can maybe understand it more emotionally, more different, in a different way.
And what is the perception of the Ukrainian people in Ukraine and also in the diaspora? Because we know, obviously, that there is a big amount of people from Ukraine that live in Canada since more or less a century. So because of the starvation of what happened maybe one century ago because of Stalin, and what happened after, so it's a big community in Canada, mainly in the prairies and the west, maybe less in the east, but still important.
Exactly. You really know everything. That is exactly it. There's a huge, I believe, the biggest diaspora here in Canada outside of Ukraine. And it did exactly start in those years when people really needed to get out of Stalin's regime. They were able to make it to the prairies, like you said, and now it's two different communities. Even the language is a little bit different. You know, it's very old. It's kept in a time capsule, and I've been connecting with the diaspora a lot, of course, and then people from Ukraine. You know, sure, the communities are a little bit different, but since the full-scale invasion, I have never seen Ukrainians so united. I've never think I've seen a country so united. I've never, once you have this common horrible trauma, you know, it's just been amazing, the connections you make, the music, the art. It's you know, I'm trying to find the positives in this, but overall it has been horrible. The first year, I think, after February 24th, 2022, I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't make music. I went to Poland, I went to Ukraine, and now, unfortunately, everyone is very tired. You know, the first year we are so strong, we were fighting back. There is a tiredness now, and I'm seeing that both here in Canada and back home, because every day there is a missile, and the missile is on churches, it's on museums. It's just everyone is tired, and so if I can help a little bit with music, at least I feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah, sure. And what are you going to present in Montreal next week?
I'm going to present my album, which is coming out at the end of May. I've been working on it for a long time. I did not even announce it on social media. It's happening today, what the album will be called. So I'm going to tell you. It will be called Kyiv Soul. And that means a lot to me because it comes from my dad's music, my dad's soul, everything he ever sung about growing up in Kyiv. And then, of course, bringing that to the hearts of non-Ukrainians. So that's my mission, is to tell non-Ukrainians about the emotion, about why we're fighting and why you know, a free Ukraine means so much to us, and that's what the album is about. I'm very excited. I have been working on it for a long time, and we are going to play the whole album with a smaller group. Usually I have a 5-piece band with me. This is going to be a trio with some special guests. Special guests will include Akawi from Montreal, who's a fantastic flute player, rapper, also an incredible artist. Natalia Talenso from Dumai Dunai in Montreal, and Asheen Hennigan also from Montreal. So it's a meeting of cultures, which I just love, and I think it's going to be a really exciting show, and I cannot wait. Apparently there's a jam at the end, so the Ukrainian, the Balkan group, and then the DJ and the Latin American acts are going to all meet together and jam. So I think it's going to be amazing.
From Montreal.
Yes. I just I might not go back. I might not go back to Toronto. I might stay. Because
there's an important Ukrainian community in Montreal. You know that.
I love Montreal. I love the city. It's just so vibrant. So I might stay. I might not go back.
Okay. Well, Nastasia, why? Thanks a lot for this. We congratulate you for your new album, and welcome back in Montreal. We're looking forward to see and appreciate your next concert here.
Thank you, Elaine. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. Thank you so much.